Our Chilled Out series was created some years back to keep the Australian cold chain alerted to all manner of news. I'm very pleased that you've joined us today, as I do have some news to share, and that is that we have a new member that will be especially of interest to those in Sydney. John Rasaku is the Director Industrial at Rasalan. Thank you for being interviewed today, John.
G'day, Marianne. Thanks very much for the opportunity to have a bit of a chat and discuss what we do and how we can help members.
Absolutely. Rasalan provides expert, independent industrial advisory services for tenants to ensure that you're not paying above market rents based on your lease. Many cold chain businesses operate large refrigerated warehouses where rent and property costs are, let's go with, significant. From your experience, what are the biggest challenges that these operators face when negotiating or reviewing their industrial leases?
Yeah, so I think the simple answer to that is not getting the independent advice around their property requirements and lease requirements, understanding what market rental norms are before agreeing to them. Because as you can appreciate, most of these leases are very long term. So the actual impact of a poorly agreed to lease is a compounding, long lasting one that can last 20 years plus. So it really is about understanding the practical implications of what you're agreeing to as a tenant, and then ensuring that your rights and obligations are protected all the way through the entirety of that lease term.
I'm just, what sort of business are you giving legal advice, or are you giving industrial advice, or where does, how do you sort of term the assistance that you give?
Yeah, so we're in a unique spot. We're not a tenant rep. We're not a valuation or an agency firm. I'm a property valuer who only works on behalf of tenants. So by acting in this manner, we ensure that we're only aligned with tenants' interests, and we don't work on behalf of landlords to ensure that alignment. But in short, I'm a valuer who only works for tenants.
Excellent. Okay, so you're on their side, which I absolutely love, because that would have to be right up there in the probably third to fourth largest cost that any cold storage warehouse would have. Would you agree?
Definitely, definitely. So it's a significant, even for a generic tenant, it's still a materially large cost, and even I think potentially more for those in the cold chain.
Mm. And as you said, because it goes on for 20 years, this is something that, you really need to get right, and keep it right over there. With all of the prices going up at the moment, that's pretty important. Do you see the demand for cold storage property continuing to grow in Sydney over the next few years?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's definitely going to be a place that gets more capital placed into it. I think it's fairly reasonable to say that there are institutional investors from a landlord point of view that are still backing that trend as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. And before we go this morning, are there any other things that you'd like to let the cold storage membership in New South Wales know about you before we go?
Um, Not really. I mean, I guess it's simply that we exist. The common conversation that I'm having with a lot of tenants right now is that most don't understand the terms and obligations under their lease, that our service exists, because I don't actually know of any other valuers who exclusively work on market rent reviews as their core focus. There are definitely competent operators out there who will do a vast array of things. There are tenant reps out there that are definitely competent, but this particular specialization, I think, is quite unique. And really, if you've come to me, I'm more of a damage mitigator. So for all the members, I would definitely recommend getting in touch with one of those competent tenant reps as well before you sign a lease, because I only come on when a market rent review arrives, and you need to understand that you're not paying more than what you need to under your lease terms.
I love that you're saving people money on something that is, it's a mandatory cost. You can't get away from it,
Yep.
but to keep it as low as possible in these difficult times is sensational. So look, thanks for letting us know how Rasalan can benefit the cold chain, John. It was lovely speaking with you.
Thanks very much for the opportunity again.
Thank you.
Thank you.